The crystal glasses clinked as waitstaff circulated through the elegant university courtyard, serving champagne to celebrate my daughter Emma's summa cum laude graduation. String lights twinkled overhead, casting a warm glow over the gathering of professors, students, and family members who had come to celebrate. "Mom, this is perfect," Emma whispered, squeezing my hand. Her graduation cord gleamed against her black robe, a testament to 4 years of dedication. I smiled, remembering all the late nights studying, the tears, the triumphs. "You earned every bit of this, sweetheart." Well, Ika isn't the pretender and her precious princess." The sharp voice cut through the gentle evening ambience like a knife. Victoria, my ex-husband's wife of 3 years, stood at the courtyard entrance, her designer dress practically screaming for attention. Behind her, my ex-husband Robert shifted uncomfortably, already sensing the impending disaster. "Victoria," I acknowledged calmly. The invitation said 7 p.m. "You're an hour early." "Oh, I couldn't wait to share something special with all your guests," she said, strutting forward and pulling an envelope from her designer clutch. "Especially with the university board members present." Emma's grip on my hand tightened. "Mom, it's okay," I murmured, watching Victoria approach the small stage where the string quartet was playing. "Ladies and gentlemen," Victoria's voice rang out, causing conversations to halt. "I have a wonderful story to share about our hostess, Catherine Mitchell." The quartet stopped playing. Robert finally found his voice. Victoria dumped. "You see," she continued, pulling photos from the envelope, "while dear Catherine plays at being successful enough to host this lavish party, I thought everyone should know the truth." She held up the first photo triumphantly. This was her 10 years ago, waiting tables at Riley's Diner downtown. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. I remained still, my face neutral. "Mom worked hard to put me through school," Emma said loudly. "I'm proud of that." "Oh, sweetie," Victoria's voice dripped with false sympathy. "Is that what she told you? That she worked hard?" She pulled out more photos. "She worked hard, all right. Hard at catching a rich man. Isn't that right, Robert?" My ex-husband stepped forward. "That's enough." "No, let her continue," I said softly, causing Victoria to pause. Something in my tone made her falter briefly before she plowed ahead. "Look at her now, pretending she belongs here among educated people, successful people, hosting parties at the university like she's somebody." Victoria laughed sharply. "Tell them, Catherine. Tell them how you could possibly afford this on your business consultant salary." The university president, Dr. Harrison, stood up from his seat. "Mrs. Mitchell, should I?" I gave him a slight nod. Actually, Dr. Harrison's authoritative voice filled the courtyard. "I was going to save this announcement for later, but now seems appropriate. We're here not only to celebrate Emma Mitchell's outstanding academic achievement, but also to acknowledge her mother's extraordinary contribution to our institution." Victoria's smirk began to waver. "Catherine Mitchell isn't just a business consultant," Dr. Harrison continued. "She's the CEO and majority owner of Mitchell Global Enterprises, which recently acquired Riverside Corporate Holdings." The color drained from Victoria's face. Riverside was where she worked as a senior vice president. "Additionally," Dr. Harrison smiled, "those photos you're holding. Riley's Diner is now Riley's Restaurant Group, a subsidiary of Mitchell Global. In fact, Mrs. Mitchell owns the entire downtown restaurant district." That's impossible," Victoria stammered. "I would know if." "Would you?" I finally spoke, my voice carrying across the now silent courtyard. "Just like you knew who bought out Riverside last month. Tell me, how was the emergency board meeting this morning?" Victoria's hands began to shake, the photos slipping from her grasp. "The restructuring announcement, that was you." "Mom?" Emma looked at me with wide eyes. "Is that why you couldn't make it to my morning graduation ceremony?" "I'm sorry, sweetheart. I had to attend the board meeting to finalize some decisions." I turned back to Victoria, including whether to maintain current management positions. Robert stepped forward. "Catherine, I had no idea she was planning this." "Of course you didn't," I said quietly. "You never did pay attention to what was happening right in front of you." Victoria's designer clutch hit the ground. "Please, my position at Riverside. I have expenses, the house payments." "The house payments on the mansion you mock me for not having." I raised an eyebrow. "The one you reminded Emma was so much grander than our modest home." "I didn't mean." "Yes, you did. I walked over and picked up one of the fallen photos. You meant to humiliate me by showing everyone my waitressing days. Instead, you've shown them the beginning of my journey. I held up the photo. See this diner? It's where I learned about business, customer service, and most importantly, humility. Something you might want to consider as you update your resume. The string quartet resumed playing softly as Victoria stood frozen, the reality of her situation sinking in. Robert looked between us, finally seeing what he failed to notice for years. The board meeting tomorrow, Victoria whispered. Please. We'll proceed as scheduled. I finished. And Victoria, don't be late. Unlike tonight, arriving early won't help you. Emma stepped forward, her graduation robe swishing softly. Dad, I think you and Victoria should leave. This is my celebration, and I'd like to enjoy it with people who actually support me. As security quietly escorted them out, Dr. Harrison raised his glass. To Emma Mitchell, summa cum laude graduate, and to Catherine Mitchell, whose generosity will fund our new business school wing. The guests applauded, and Emma hugged me tight. Mom, why didn't you ever tell me? I kissed her forehead. Because I wanted you to learn the same lesson I did. Success isn't about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right. And Victoria, we'll learn that lesson tomorrow. I smiled, taking 2 champagne glasses from a passing waiter. But tonight is about you, my brilliant daughter. Though I have to ask. What? How long have you known about Mitchell Global? Emma grinned. Since I interned at Riverside last summer. Victoria never noticed I had full security clearance. I laughed, raising my glass. That's my girl. Monday morning arrived with a tension that could be cut with a knife. I sat in my office at the university's main administration building, watching through the security feed as Victoria paced nervously outside the Board of Trustees' emergency meeting room. My phone buzzed with a text from Emma. Mom, Dad just arrived. He looks like he hasn't slept. Stay in class, sweetheart, I replied. Let me handle this. The board members filed in one by one, each nodding respectfully in my direction. After all, my $50 million donation to the university's expansion project had earned me more than just a seat among them. It had made me the chairperson. Send them in, I instructed my assistant. Victoria entered first, her designer suit a stark contrast to her disheveled appearance. James followed, looking like he aged a decade since Saturday's disaster. Please sit, I gestured to the chairs. I believe we have some matters to discuss regarding Saturday's incident. Sarah, I can explain, Victoria started. Explain what? I cut her off smoothly. How you crashed a private graduation celebration? How you distributed photos of me working as a janitor 15 years ago? Or perhaps how you announced to everyone that Emma's mother was, quote, nothing but a cleaning lady who slept her way into a degree. James winced. Sarah, she was drunk. Being drunk doesn't excuse attempting to humiliate my daughter on her graduation day. I replied coldly, but let's discuss your sobriety, Victoria, since you're so fond of exposing truths. I pressed a button, and the room's screens displayed security footage from various university events. Victoria, clearly intoxicated, making scenes at dormer dinners. Victoria, harassing student assistants. Victoria, threatening to have professors fired because they wouldn't change her son's grades. As the university's ethics committee chair, I continued, I've been collecting these incidents for months, but I held back, hoping you'd seek help. Victoria's face drained of color. You're the chair. Among other things. I slid forward a document. Did you ever wonder who bought out your father's failing company last year? The silent investor who saved your family's fortune. Her hands trembled as she reached for the paper. The Morrison Group? That's you. The same group that owns the rehab facility you'll be checking into this afternoon. What? She looked up sharply. You can't force me. Actually, I can. Your employment contract with the university includes a morality clause. You either enter treatment or you lose your position. Your choice. James finally found his voice. Sarah, when did you become all this? I was always this, James. You were just too busy being embarrassed by my humble beginnings to notice. I turned back to Victoria. Remember how you mocked me for cleaning offices at night while studying? Those offices belong to the business empire I now control. Victoria's perfectly lined lips quivered. The photos, I thought they would hurt you. They did hurt someone, your stepchild. Emma had to watch you try to shame her mother for working honest jobs to earn an education. I leaned forward. Do you know what she did after you left? She helped clean up the mess you made. Because that's what strong people do. They don't fear honest work. The door opened and the dean entered with a thick folder. Mrs. Kennedy, the board has reviewed the evidence. We're prepared to vote on Mrs. Harrison's employment status. No need, Victoria whispered, tears streaming down her face. I'll go to rehab. Please don't let my son find out like this. I studied her for a moment. Your son already knows. He came to my office this morning worried about you. He's waiting at the facility. He is. Yes. Because unlike you, he understands that there's no shame in getting help. I handed her a tissue. The car is waiting downstairs. Your father knows, and he supports this decision. As Victoria gathered her things, James remained seated. I should have defended Emma at the party. Yes, you should have. But you can start making better choices now. After Victoria left with the facility escort, James turned to me. All these years you let me think. I let you think what you wanted to think. Your assumptions about my worth were your problem, not mine. My phone buzzed again. Emma sending a photo of her new research grant approval. The grant I'd anonymously funded through my foundation, which she earned entirely on merit. The board meeting is adjourned, I announced. And James? Emma's celebration dinner is tonight. This time, come alone. As the room cleared out, I looked at the old photo Victoria had tried to use against me. Young Sarah in a janitor's uniform, studying between cleaning shifts. I pinned it to my bulletin board right next to Emma's graduation photo. Mrs. Kennedy, my assistant, appeared. Your daughter's here. Emma entered, still in her lab coat from her research assistant position. Mom, is everything okay? I hugged her tight. Everything's perfect. Victoria's getting the help she needs, and you're still my brilliant, compassionate daughter who doesn't look down on honest work. Well, she grinned, I learned from the best. Should we frame that photo Victoria found? Put it right next to your Ford's cover? I laughed, holding my daughter close. Sometimes the best revenge isn't in destroying someone's world, it's in helping them build a better one. 3 months later, I sat in my office overlooking the university campus, reviewing the latest reports from the rehabilitation center. Victoria had completed her initial program and was now actively participating in outpatient therapy. Her progress reports showed genuine effort at change. A knock on my door interrupted my reading. Come in. Emma entered, carrying 2 coffee cups. Thought you might need this. I just saw Victoria at the student counseling center. Oh, I accepted the coffee, noting my daughter's thoughtful expression. She's volunteering there, talking to students about substance abuse and pressure. Emma sat down. She looks different. More real somehow. I nodded, thinking of the handwritten letter Victoria had sent me last week, full of genuine remorse and gratitude. Sometimes people need to hit bottom before they can rebuild. Like Dad? Emma raised an eyebrow. James had been making his own kind of progress. Weekly dinners with Emma, no more social climbing, and he even started teaching pro bono at the community college. Speaking of rebuilding, I pulled out a folder. The board approved your research proposal. Emma's eyes lit up. Really? But I thought the funding came from an anonymous donor? I smiled. One who believes in supporting scientists based on merit, not social connections. Mom, she laughed. Is there anything you don't secretly own or fund? My pride in you, I replied softly. That's always been right out in the open. Another knock, and my assistant appeared. Mrs. Kennedy, Victoria's here for her scheduled meeting. I watched emotions flash across Emma's face, concern, curiosity, and finally understanding. Want me to stay? No, sweetheart. Some conversations need to happen one-on-one. Victoria entered as Emma left, looking vastly different from the woman who had crashed the graduation party. Gone were the flashy designer clothes and artificial polish. Instead, she wore simple business attire and a humble expression. Catherine, she said quietly, thank you for seeing me. Your progress reports are impressive, I gestured to the chair. The counseling center speaks highly of your volunteer work. It's helping me as much as them. She sat down, hands folded neatly. I never apologized properly for everything. No, you didn't. I was so consumed with proving my worth through status and appearances, she continued. Seeing you succeed without all that. It threatened everything I believed about myself. I studied her carefully, and now I'm learning that real strength isn't in tearing others down. It's in building yourself up honestly. She pulled out a familiar envelope. I kept these photos as a reminder. The same photos she tried to use against me at the graduation party now lay between us. But their power had changed. You know, I said, picking up one. This was taken the night I finalized my first business plan. Between cleaning offices, I was building the foundation of Mitchell Global. While I was busy buying designer clothes to look successful, you were actually becoming successful. Victoria smiled sadly. The irony isn't lost on me. My phone buzzed, a message from Emma. Dad's teaching his first community college class tonight. Think we should surprise him? Second chances are valuable things, I told Victoria. What matters is what we do with them. She nodded, standing to leave. Catherine? Thank you. Not for saving my career or forcing me into rehab, but for showing me there's another way to live. After she left, I texted Emma back. Meet me in 20 minutes. Let's go support your father's new beginning. Looking out over the campus, I could see students rushing to classes, each carrying their own dreams and struggles. Somewhere out there, Victoria was counseling someone who needed help. James was preparing to teach his first class. And Emma was continuing her research, earned through merit rather than connections. My phone buzzed one last time, a photo from Victoria. She was at Riley's diner, sitting in the same booth where my old waitressing photo had been taken. Her message read, "Sometimes the best view is from the bottom, looking up." I smiled, remembering the frightened young mother who had once cleaned offices at night, dreaming of a better future. Now that future included not just success, but the power to help others find their way. Ready, Mom? Emma appeared at my door, car keys in hand. Ready, I said, gathering my things. Let's go watch your father learn what real success looks like. Because sometimes the greatest victory isn't in winning the battle, it's in helping everyone find peace.